Hello, everyone. I was about to say good afternoon, but I realized that you all might be joining from different times, so I'll just stick to hello. Let us know in the chat where you're joining from. Ooh, is there a new look? Yes, you're right. And there's emojis in the first slide, which almost we never have.
I snuck those in there.
Yeah.
Austria, whoa, cool. Got Lancaster, it's hot. I love to hear that.
Ooh,
Montreal.
Tessa, hello. I'm also in Montreal. Very exciting.
Oh, Anchorage, Alaska. That's so cool.
Nice.
Rhode
So
Island.
I can already tell that a lot of you have been here before. You're all dropping the location in the chat. So continue to do that. We'll wait another 30, 45 seconds before we get started. I am currently in Montreal for anyone else who is in the chat, also in Montreal. And we have Natalie here in Toronto. Edmonton, Alberta. How exciting. Another Toronto person. Another Montreal person. This is so exciting.
I'd love to see it. Oh,
Awesome.
Phil. Nice.
All right, while folks continue to trickle in, I'm going to get us started for the day. And yes, Michael, welcome. We did miss you last week. So if you're here today, you know that we are talking about a famous cat tour that happened in Toronto. And I don't know if you all know this, but Natalie here was the one that organized it. And so I feel like you're famous to me because when I learned about this in the interview process with Natalie, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm talking to the cat tour person. So I'm very excited that Natalie will be presenting today. Just to get us started, we have our typical housekeeping. So hey, if this is your first time being at a HeyOrca webinar, we are a social media management tool for teams and agencies, which means that we are here to assist you with any of your scheduling needs, reporting, community inbox, you name it. And the best thing is that we have unlimited users, so you do not have to pay extra just to add a team member or a client or anyone who might need access to your social. If you follow us on social, or if you don't yet, our handles are at HeyOrca. Michael, our house cat is fast asleep in a chair behind my. So fitting for this call. This is a call that I wish everyone had their camera on so that we could see the cats.
Yeah.
All right, so now to meet our host, I'm going to pass it over to Natalie to introduce herself.
Okay, hello everyone. This is just a brief introduction for me. I'll get into more of my details later, but my name's Natalie and I'm the social media community strategist over here at HeyOrca.
Awesome. And Natalie's been with us for almost 2 months now, and we love her very much. And I'm Jessie, Director of Marketing at HeyOrca, so anything customer acquisition related is what I deal with on a day-to-day. So if you are new here, we do have contests at our webinars. So we have 2 ways to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So the first is to answer a poll. And the poll this time is, do you have any in-person events planned for your brand this year? And so tomorrow at noon, we will just pull someone who has participated in that poll and send them a Amazon gift card. It is that easy. And Lyle just plopped the poll in the chat so you can take a look there. There is a second way to win a gift card, which is that you can share what you learned from this webinar on LinkedIn and tag us. And then next Tuesday, so we give you a little bit more time, we will randomly choose someone to win an Amazon gift card there as well. And so yeah, two places to win for this Amazon gift card, which is very exciting. All right, I'll pass it to Natalie. Have fun, everyone.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself in a little bit more detail because I am still a new face here at HeyOrca. So again, my name's Natalie. I'm the social media community strategist. Basically, I am obsessed with building community on and off social media. Over the years, I've organized in-person events such as a citywide in-person photo scavenger hunt, food swaps, where my friends and I would bring prepared food and we'd share it with each other, a speed dating fundraiser event, and most recently, a cat tour in Toronto, which is the reason that you are all here. Before I get into this presentation, I did want to say I'm not a professional event planner by trade. I'm just a person that likes to make things happen. But I do think that organizing in-person events can be a little bit intimidating. So my main goal for everyone today is for you to feel empowered to organize your own events as well. Okay, so you might be sitting here wondering, if we work in social media, why are we talking about in-person events? Great question. So, as you all probably know, at HeyOrca, we focus a lot on community, but a ton of other brands and companies are as well. So, according to our 2025 Community Benchmark Report, which, if you look at the very top of the chat, there is a link there to see this stats about salary, and a ton of other things. According to our 2025 benchmark report, 80% of social media managers are engaging with their community off social, and 2020, oh my goodness, 22.6% of them are doing that with in-person or virtual events. Events are particularly popular with higher education, public sector, small business, and technology industries. I'm seeing someone in the chat is saying they organize a waste cleanup with their community. I love that. That's incredible. And that's one of the reasons that we held our community summit in May. Side note, if you missed this year's summit, don't worry, we have already started planning the next one. So stay tuned for that. I'm already so excited for it. Okay, so what kind of events are we talking about? I know I haven't gotten into the cat tour yet, but you're probably thinking, am I gonna plan a cat tour for my client or brand? Maybe, probably not. Here are some other ideas. You might do a pop-up. So for example, last year when Taylor Swift was in Toronto for her Eras tour, Pilot Coffee Roasters held a Look What You Made Me Brew event. I'm gonna show you a video of that because it is super cool. Let me hop over here. Okay.
I love coffee and I love Taylor Swift, so what better way to spend an evening preparing for the Eras tour in Toronto than by going to the Look What You Made Me Brew event at Pilot Coffee. I got all dressed up, kind of went for a Reputation theme with my snake belt, and then did some super fun Taylor Swift and coffee themed trivia, checked out the different Taylor Swift themed brew stations, and made some delicious decaf coffee, assembled some Taylor Swift song titles to try to win a prize. Unfortunately, my team was not the fastest, so we didn't win, and made some super cute friendship bracelets that I'm ready to wear at my trip to the Eras tour tomorrow. I can't wait. Also grabbed some great Taylor Swift stickers. All in all, had a super fun time. Follow along for more Toronto events and copy.
Okay. Oop, contact there. So that's one example of an event. You might do a brand activation. So for example, Lululemon held a dupe swap where people brought in their dupe leggings and swapped them for real ones. Now, obviously Lululemon has got a massive budget. This was a huge undertaking. I understand that not all of us have Lululemon's budget. So an example of something similar to this that maybe you could do on like a smaller budget is maybe you could have like your brand's product side by side with a dupe or a competitor's product, and you could like encourage people to guess which one's which. This could work well for like physical products, beauty products, food or drink. Maybe you could give away coupons to anyone who participates. So it's still doable on a smaller budget. Moving on, you could do a meetup. So for example, an animal shelter hosted a run club where the run like draws an animal out on Strava. Or the Denver Library hosted an introvert book club on public transit, which is so cute. I will also show you a video of that. Okay, hopping back. I love that one. That was one that I would absolutely attend if I was there.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm gonna need that to happen in Montreal.
I know. Well, after this webinar, you'll know how to maybe organize that yourself.
Sure.
Okay, so today I'm going to walk you all through how the cat tour idea came to life, what I learned, and what steps you can take to start planning an event for your brand, your client, or if you'd like, your community. All right, so you might be also wondering, what the heck is a cat tour? I've been saving this for you guys. So exactly a year ago, actually, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw the video that I'm about to show you. Basically, this guy leads a parade of people through a neighborhood to see cats on porches, through windows, or on lawns. I'm going to show you the video right now. Here we go.
We're going to be walking around the neighborhood shortly, spotting some cats. Keep your eyes open though. I don't know where all the cats are. They're not always registered. So if you see a surprise cat, that's called a bonus cat.
Oh, yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, take notes.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cute.
That was such a wholesome video.
I know, right? So I watched that video and I immediately thought to myself, oh my gosh, I wish someone would organize something like this in Toronto. And then I realized I can make that happen. I can make that happen. I will make that happen. So that was me being like, this literally will be me organizing this here in Toronto. So how did my tour go? I will show you that as well. 1 second. All right. Okay, and I don't know if anyone saw this in the chat, but we actually have a cat tour owner who's in the chat who was part of it. So yes, okay, so we ended up having 100 people on the tour. We had 15 stops to see 21 cats. We raised over $400 for Toronto Cat Rescue, and we also ended up partnering with Temptations and Pet Value for swag for cat owners and coupons for participants. How does this apply to you? So, like I said, I'm not a professional event planner, but I made it happen. And I believe that anyone can organize an event, but especially everyone who's attending this webinar right now. I'm going to get into this later. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I really do think our community is brilliant. And I really do think that all of you can do anything. But yes, so I want you to know that like, if you see an event that you wish your brand or your client was doing, that's your cue to make it happen. And you absolutely can do it. So let's move on to how we get started from ideas to action. Basically, what happens after you say, what if we actually did this? Okay, so number one, first things first, find the simplest version of your idea. You don't need to go from zero to like a full-scale street festival. You can always go bigger in future events, but for now, especially if it's your first event, keep it small and manageable. So this is actually, so I organized this tour before I started working at HeyOrca, but this is a concept that we do have at HeyOrca called the cupcake principle. And it basically means like, if you have an idea, start small, make a cupcake, don't make a wedding cake. So keep that in mind. So how I did this with my own event, the cat tour wasn't a giant city run event. I didn't plan 20 at once. It was one tour contained in one neighborhood. I kept it to one social media platform. I only used Instagram for it. And I kept the tour to a maximum of 100 people. So when you're planning your event, think to yourself, like, what's the lightest lift version of this idea that still works? Number two, use the tools that you already know. So use what's already in your toolkit, what you already know how to use. Don't spread yourself too thin, learning new programs or social media platforms. So for example, with my own event, I used Google Forms for my signups. I used Google Maps for my route. As you can tell, I am a Google fan through and through. And I just, again, like I said earlier, I used one social media platform for promotion. So ask yourself, what do I already use every day that I can repurpose for this event? Next step, done is better than perfect. You are maybe never going to feel 100% ready, especially if this is your first time running an event. You can prepare as much as you want, but ultimately you got to pick a date and you got to go for it. So how I did this with my own event, I prepped as much as I possibly could, but again, eventually I just had to go ahead and put it out there. I had to pick a date. I had to pick a neighborhood. I had to pick the final cats that would be in it. I really could have hummed and hawed forever trying to make it like as perfect as possible. And you do obviously want to do a great job, but ultimately you're probably not going to feel ready and you just have to go for it. And number four, study other events. So look at how other similar events are run. I'm not saying to copy them exactly, more so just to like see what's already working, learn what other people are doing. If you're inspired by something you saw online or you attended in person, see if you can reach out to the organizer, as most people are happy to share their tools and insights, especially like, for example, like with that Denver library one, because like they likely don't have any competitors as a library. If you want to organize something similar, I am so sure that you could reach out to them and just like chat with them, pick their brains a little bit. I'm sure they would be happy to help. So how I did this for my own event, I studied the Minneapolis Cat Tour, that video that inspired me. I also like chatted with the people who organized it to pick their brains a little bit. And I studied other events in the city. For example, I used the same ticketing platform and system that other events use. Okay, now let's move on to building community support. So how do you take an idea that you got off TikTok and build community support around it? Obviously, this is going to be my favorite topic. So moving on. So step one, ask for help. Keep in mind, people enjoy helping more than you think, and don't be afraid to ask for support from your team, your friends, and your community. So the cat tour obviously wasn't a professional endeavor. I didn't really have like a professional team to reach out to, but I definitely still asked for a lot of help and I still got it. If you are working on a team with other people, definitely reach out for support. But if not, if you're on a team of one, there's lots of other ways you can get help. So for example, how I got help with the cat tour, I asked for volunteers right off the bat because I knew I'd need extra bodies and hands day of. So for example, I had people hold up signs. We had to cross a couple of streets, and I don't know, I was so afraid that someone was going to get hit by a car, even though all of these people walk in their everyday regular life, but this was a big fear of mine. So I had people hold up signs like for cars being like, stop, thanks for your patience, etc. I just knew I'd need extra bodies and hands day of. So I did a call for volunteer. My partner, who is the one in that photo holding that pink Toronto Cat Tour sign, was basically my co-lead during the day. He helped out so much with day of logistics, and I truly could not have done this event without him. I asked people to share the event over and over and over again, as well as the sign up form, both on my personal Instagram and on the Cat Tour Instagram. And even little things like I asked my friends if anyone had a megaphone that I could borrow, and they did. I had a megaphone, as you can see in this picture that I'm holding. Honestly, if I were to do this again, I would ask for more help and I would delegate more. So I cannot emphasize enough how you have to ask for help.
We have Hazel in the chat who is agreeing with all of your help recommendations. So for example, they write, definitely think finding out what other people have done helps a lot. No need to invent or reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And asking for help is great. We all want to participate, but usually want someone else to organize and get the ball rolling. So yeah, definitely you're resonating in the chat.
Oh, I love that. Also, yes, my boyfriend is a very smiley guy. Okay, step two, make it easy for people to get involved. Clear communication is key because it leads to less friction. I'll touch upon that later. The easier it is to understand what is going on and say yes, the more people will. So for example, with the cat tour, I had pre-answered FAQs both on the Instagram page and any sign-up forms. And I designed my Google form, specifically the one asking for cat owners to sign their cats up to be on the tour. I designed it so that I got all the information I needed without it being a 10-page form that was too long to fill out. Basically, anytime you're planning events, and I will touch upon this in a short bit, but just always imagine it from the participant's perspective. So for example, if I was a cat owner about to sign my cat up for this tour, what kind of questions would I want answered right off the bat? So me personally, I would want to know, does my cat have to be touched? Does my cat have to be petted? So I made it really clear both on the Instagram and on the Google Forms, your cat doesn't have to be petted. Now, if a cat owner had to email me to ask this question, A, they have to find my email. B, they have to take the time to like open up the app and type it out. This is an extra step. By the time they get there, they might even be like, never mind. So you want to eliminate that friction. You want to make it super clear and easy. I'm seeing a question in the chat. Can you share your form? Absolutely. I think, Lyle, if you wouldn't mind dropping my LinkedIn in the chat again, connect with me on LinkedIn, and then I can share you a link to that because I don't have one ready this second, but happy to pass that along. All right. Next step, tap into existing communities. So you don't always need to create a community from scratch. You can literally meet people where they are. So for example, how I did this with my cat tour, I shared the cat owner sign up forms in local Facebook groups. And then once I had like a higher number of signups in a certain area, I started postering like physically in that area to then also tap into like offline word of mouth communities. I also connected with Toronto Cat Rescue for some cross promotion. And lastly, you're all pros at this, but I'll go into it a little bit. Use your event's social media. So don't just use social media to promote your event and leave it at that. Use it to make your community feel involved in the planning of it and include them in the process. So how I did this for this tour is I used Instagram polls to let people vote on things like the event date. I shared behind the scenes sneak peeks into planning and postering. For example, I shared a video of my boyfriend and I postering the neighborhood. And I used a lot of memes and niche jokes just to create like an insider feeling. Seeing some questions. How much lead time did I go from promo to the event? I think it was 2 months. I think I like started promoting it in July. Yes. And Sarah, who was the original cat tour poster? It was a person in Minneapolis. I forget their exact name. But yeah, it was a person in Minneapolis. And my costs out of pocket, Chelsea, was I think like $120 of my own money.
Very impressive.
It was just that pink sign in that earlier picture that my boyfriend was holding, literally made out of cardboard. So
Yeah.
you can do it on a budget. All right. So to recap all of the steps I did, and I don't know, maybe this would be a really good time to screenshot if hypothetically there was some kind of a contest going on where you could share what you learned on LinkedIn. Here's a little recap screenshot, recap page. I'm going to change the slide in a second. So screenshot now or forever hold your peace. All right, so we're going to move on to designing a great participant experience. I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again. You always have to think from the perspective of a participant. So basically, always think of a participant. Remember, if you're planning an event, you've probably had this idea for a while. You probably know all the details. If you're, I don't know, whether it's you're making a poster, you're making a sign up form, you're setting up socials for it, or even if it's the day of the event, you know all of the details, even like what the schedule is, where the bathrooms are, all of these things, you know. Let's not forget that this might not be obvious to someone. And remember that anytime someone encounters your event, whether like communications, whether it's like on the Instagram page or an event poster, or they're walking in, they might be kind of experiencing this for the very first time. So basically just always picture, how does this look to someone who's seeing this for the very first time? Is everything as clear as it could be? So just keep these kinds of questions in mind. What will people see when they first arrive? Is it clear to know where to go or what to do? And will they know exactly what to expect from the event? So how I did this for the cat tour, I always had a brief description of the event in every public communication, like posters, the Instagram profile, Google Forms, the Eventbrite page. I'm guessing most of you even read the title of this webinar and were like, what the heck is a cat tour? So I had to be very clear about what it was. I did a walkthrough of the route in person on my own before the event, and then I had to try and visualize 100 people behind me. Would we all fit on the sidewalk? Were there crosswalks where we needed them to be? Were there any places where people could go to the bathroom along the way? These sorts of things. I handed out maps of the tour with those clear bathroom stops. As you can tell, this is often the first thing on my mind when I go to an event, so that people knew exactly what the tour would look like. And I had a clear meetup spot with a visible sign as we were meeting in a public place, and I wanted us to be super easy to find. Okay, now let's move on to the reality of events, which is that things are going to go wrong, and that's okay. So there really is no such thing as an event where absolutely nothing goes wrong. Now I'm saying this, and then I'm going to contradict myself because I think the one exception was our community summit. Jesse, maybe you can vouch for me that, like, I think more than like 10 times, I was like, how has nothing gone wrong? How has nothing gone wrong? Not that I thought anything would go wrong. It was just like, this is amazing.
Can confirm Natalie asked me that a few times.
Yeah. But it was incredible. Nothing went wrong. I was so thrilled. However, this is not the case for most events. You can plan all you want, but there likely will always be day of surprises just that you couldn't anticipate. That doesn't matter. What matters is how you respond. Stay calm, try and address it, and then just use it as a learning opportunity for the future. My one post-event tip is just to always ask for feedback, because that's the best way to know how to improve for the future. So I sent feedback surveys to everyone, tour participants, the cat owners, and our volunteers, just to get feedback on how to improve for next time. So while nothing terrible happened, okay, I'll be honest with all of you. My two biggest fears were that A, a cat is going to escape, and B, someone will get hit by a car. Neither happened. None of those big bad things happened. But I did get some like really good feedback still. So for example, the tour was 5 kilometers, or for my American friends, it was 3.12 miles. That route was just a little bit too long for just some participants. Great. Okay, perfect to know for next time. And then the other thing was I did include communications that the very end of the tour would involve some stairs. Some people miss these communications. Not great. Okay, perfect. So next time I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. I'm going to make sure that there are absolutely no stairs in the route. Side note, we also sent out feedback surveys after our community summit, and it was kind of the same thing. Like nothing dramatically went wrong. But at the summit, we focused a lot on providing opportunities to learn during the event. And we learned from the feedback surveys that people wanted a little bit more time to network with each other. So no problem. We're going to implement that next year in our next summit. So basically, after your event happens, just ask yourself what worked, what do you want to improve on next time, and just listen to the feedback that you get from people. All right. Okay. This is just a little fun detour. I just want to talk about some outcomes from the Toronto Cat Tour because I think that they were very cool. Oh, okay. So from that video that I showed you guys, it basically ended up going viral. And I ended up getting, oh my gosh, the person who made that video is in the chat. This is incredible. Okay, yay. Yeah, it ended up going viral, and I was flooded with comments and messages about people wanting this exact event in their cities. While I would love to clone myself and make my full-time job just planning cat tours in other cities, I can't realistically do that. So instead, I put together like a step-by-step blueprint of exactly how I organize the tour in even more detail than I'm doing here. And I'd send it out to anyone who asked. And then I created a network where basically other cat tour organizers can reach out to each other for help. So far I've seen successful events in Montreal, in Halifax, in Cambridge, Richmond, Tulsa, and more. And then another fun thing is when I sent out the blueprint to people, I was like, obviously this is your tour, you can do what you want. But I just asked that if there is any money involved, if people are selling tickets, I just ask that a portion of the proceeds go to a local cat rescue. So at this point, this initiative has raised literally thousands of dollars for local cat rescues, which I'm just so happy to see that happening. Okay, so takeaways, what you can learn and do. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna get a little sappy here, but I don't think it's sappy. I really do believe all these things, so bear with me. But first and foremost, I said at the very beginning of this, my goal is to make all of you feel empowered to make things happen, whether that's for your clients, your brand, or even just like in your community, if you just want to do this for fun. And this is how I feel about everyone who's in the webinar right now. So no one attending this webinar is just anything. Like none of you are like, I don't know, just a social media manager or just a community manager, anything like that. First of all, Jesse, again, you can back me up here. Everyone in our HeyOrca community is incredible. I see the things that you guys are doing. I see the content you put out. I see your participation. First of all, you guys are all amazing. But second of all, like literally the fact that you're here to take the time to attend a webinar and learn, whether you're watching this right now in real time or hello, if you're watching this from the future, you're watching the recording. The fact that you're here at a webinar learning shows that you take initiative and you're basically a cut above the rest. And working in social media means that you have to be like creative, agile, resourceful, adaptable. I could go on. So this alone literally makes you qualified to do anything.
We have a funny comment from Michael saying, apparently I'm a screaming kitty meme, which I think is so
Yeah.
cute.
I love that. I love to hear. I literally could have put 100 more memes in here, but I had to control myself. Yes. So my key takeaways: you can do anything. I am 100% serious and excited for you when I say that. But ask for help. Truly and honestly, the one thing that I would do so much more of is just ask for more help and probably delegate. Always, 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 always keep the participant experience at front of mind every single step of the way. And just do your best. Learn from your experience to make your next event better. Sorry to say, this is now all of you. You all have to invite me to your incredible events. Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't worry. You don't actually have to invite me to the events that you plan. However, I'm serious. Please feel free to let me know about them so I can cheer you along from the sidelines, because I would love to see it. And that is the end of my presentation. I think we have a bit of time to get to any questions that came up. Thank you so much for attending. And if I don't get to your question in this presentation, truly, honestly, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I live to yap and I love to help people with things. So if I don't get to your question, happy to chat in the future.
Natalie, absolutely loved this. This is my second time hearing the presentation, and I'm still like brimming with happiness just hearing it all. And you have a lot of fans in the comments as well. So I had a few questions from earlier that I just want to get to before we get to some of the more recent questions. So we have one from Jen who asked, did you get municipal approval for the cat tour?
No, I looked it up. I looked it up to be like, what are the rules? And I think if you like, it's more so like if you're going to generate a ton of garbage, or if you're going to like stay in one place and like occupy like a park or something like that, I think then you have to be like, can we please do this? And can we have extra garbages? But because we weren't leaving any garbages and it was like only 100 people. Also, side note, if I were to do this again, I would not have 100 people. Even 100 people was like a little bit too much. But yeah, because we were like zipping through a neighborhood, it wasn't like a big deal like that.
Okay, that makes sense. We had another from Jen, and she was asking, if you don't have a physical product, what can you do as an event? And I think one thing at HeyOrca is we have a software, so not really a physical product. And so when we did an event, it was very educational based, like getting social media managers in a room, teaching them about various topics. And the thing that brought us together was social media management and community management. So I don't know, Natalie, if you have an answer. I know, Jen, you work in real estate, and one thing that Lyle just DM'd us on Slack is an option is bringing in housing experts so people can learn from them, like a lecture type of series, or a housing inspector doing some sort of FAQ or a talk, or an interior designer helping with people's first time in a house, something like that. But yeah, Natalie, I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, I love all of Lyle's recommendations. I feel like even like events, they don't always have to be like they should be aligned with your brand, but it can even be like a fun thing, and then the end of it is like loosely involved with your brand. So you could have a bingo night, and then the prize is something related to your brand. Something like that, like I don't know, if you're in real estate, a prize pack that's obviously not too expensive, but yeah.
Just kidding.
I knew, yeah. Here's the keys.
Yeah.
I'm signing up for this bingo night, and I'm buying all of the bingo sheets.
Yeah.
But yes, Jen, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll do some thinking. If these, like a hardware store gift card. I love this idea. See, yes, fantastic.
Home goods left by Morgan. Great ideas, everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, we have a question from Tessa who asked, how long in advance do you recommend to start planning a meetup?
I mean, planning, I would plan, I don't know, probably at least a couple months, I would know. Maybe like 2-3 months planning, and then like external communications, probably it depends how big your meetup is also, right? Like our community summit, we started talking about yeah. So if it's something like the Taylor Swift pop-up at the coffee shop, I feel like you don't need as much lead up time. Ours obviously like involved getting a lot of speakers in, and like coordinating a ton more of logistics. So we needed, a lot more time for that. But yeah, probably at least a couple of months.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would also say it depends what else is on your plate. Like one of the things that Alyssa was doing while planning the meetup was also her regular webinar and newsletter and all that. So trying to balance all of that also went into like how far in advance should we actually book this event. Okay, from Steph. Hey, Steph. Steph asks, I know you said you don't have plans to do another cat tour, at least for now, but is there another type of event or idea that is on your current wish list or future wish list and for when the time is right for you to plan again?
I just had an idea not too long ago and it literally popped out of my head. Um, yeah, honestly, at the moment, I don't have any ideas in store. Sorry, Steph. Not the best answer. I don't think I have any like ideas brimming at the top. I've also just like become very busy with personal projects this year. I'm learning how to sew. So it's taking up all my free time. But yeah, I don't have any events off the top of my head.
Steph says, fair enough, event planning is time consuming.
Yes, yeah. It's so fun, it's so rewarding, but it is time consuming. Yeah.
I think that I have seen all of the questions, but I'll give everyone 30 seconds. If I missed your question, please drop it in. Oh, okay, perfect. One from Teresa. Looking for good ideas for a nonprofit to help raise funds. Teresa, can I ask what your nonprofit is doing? While they write that answer, I did pass in Toronto, I think it was last weekend. Sick Kids was just celebrating a birthday, and so they took Nathan Phillips Square and did a bunch of games that are very kid-friendly. Obviously, their budget is huge. They had a hot air balloon, but I thought it was cool that they were doing an event that was really geared towards the people that they serve on a daily basis.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Equine assisted therapy. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a hobby horse race. I love that.
Or
Jen is suggesting.
honestly, even similar to the cat tour, like bringing your horses all in one place. I don't know if that's something that horses are cool with or not, but it's just like a show and tell of your horse.
Yeah, or like come like meet the horses kind of a thing. Read a horse book in a public park. Wait, Laura, I know I love this, but I would love to hear what you mean by this. Just like people get together to read together. Oh, kind of like, I wonder if it's like kind of like the Denver Library where people get together to read together. I feel like any sort of event that maybe can get people interacting with each other. Like, sorry, I clearly have one idea in my head today, and it's bingo. But if you do bingo, like you'd be like encouraging people to be on teams with people they don't know, because then you obviously have something to talk about. But like you're interacting with each other. I think people these days are just like really, really enthusiastic about and hungry to like make friends or meet their community. Anything that gets people like interacting with each other, I think people are really into these days and they'll do well. So anything that involves people chatting with each other, getting to know each other.
Oh, this looks very similar to what Teresa has done, which is we had a group ride and facility tour and tied it in with a local writer to promote her book, Charlie Horse. Love that.
I love that. Yeah.
I also just love how everyone in the chat is giving ideas. For example, a horse basketball tournament, hobby horse race, pantomime horse race, a horsing around party, adopt a horse or decorate their stalls. This is what community is about. You guys are great.
Exactly. Kristen says, my local animal rescue does a brew paw paw bingo card and different breweries participate and you go to different breweries to get a bingo stamp and each square is a BOGO deal, free beer. Love that. And they have bingo cards for non-alcoholic options and for dogs. The animals get treats. This is incredible. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Okay, see, and this is what I mean by our HeyOrca community is just incredible. Like we're popping out ideas and all of you are supporting each other and coming up with great ideas to help each other out. I just love this community so much.
Mhm. I agree. Another horse one, painting a horse workshop, 15 horses, 15 art styles. Love that. And then Jake writes, this is not horse related, but in Edmonton right now, a TikToker is planning a community picnic. It started out small and now the group has hundreds of members planning to go. I'm not planning it myself, but it's definitely exciting to see these events happen in my city. Completely agree.
Yes. Actually, since we have a little bit of time, a fun story. 2 days ago, I was just going for a walk and I walked through this park and I just saw this huge crowd of people. And so I thought, okay, well, I have to see what's going on. So I walked up and it was just a huge crowd of people gathering to sing Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping together. They had literally handed out lyric sheets and a guy was like, this section you guys do this part, in this section you guys do this part, in this section you guys do this part. It's like with this group called Choir who they normally sell tickets to, like to their events and stuff like that, but they were just doing like a free park event. I just love people doing people things together.
I completely agree. Okay, I'm going to do our last question before we wrap things up. But again, you can see Natalie's LinkedIn here on the slide. But Shannon writes, any advice for promoting recurring events, for example, weekly or monthly, in a way that doesn't feel repetitive? Okay, I just need to quickly say that we just put out a feature called recurring posts. So if it's something that goes up on your social, you should take a look at that feature at HeyOrca. But anyways, Natalie, I'll pass it to you for how to make these posts exciting each time.
I would do like maybe like different styles of like posts, like a POV, you attend this event and this happens, or like a carousel style post like with photos from the event, like just different ways. I think also I've had success when I've worked in different positions where I had to talk about events a lot, either like live posting from the event, like live posting stories, or whatever. You want to give people, especially if it's a recurring event, so you don't have to feel bad about this, you want to give people a little bit of FOMO, but then you're like, don't worry, you can come. You haven't missed out on this. We're having another one of these next week. Oh, did you miss out? You wanted to go? Don't you worry. Like, we're having this next month. That kind of a thing, just to cash in on that FOMO, but not in a mean way. In a you can still join us way.
I love that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. But again, we'll put Natalie's LinkedIn in the chat so that if you have more questions, you can connect with her. I'll have Lyle do that in a second. And just a quick reminder that we are holding a contest. So there's 2 ways to win an Amazon gift card. 1, reply to our poll, which also Lyle will drop in the chat. And 2 is to create a post about this webinar and tag us so that we're able to see. And then again, $25 gift cards are up for grabs. But thank you so much, Natalie. This was your first solo webinar with HeyOrca, and you absolutely killed it. I can tell in the chat that everyone really enjoyed this presentation. And yeah, thank you all for coming and have a good rest of your day.
Yay, thank you so much, everybody. All right.
Bye.
Bye.